I sat back and thought about what it was exactly that kept the Warriors from reaching their huge potential in 2023. See, I don't like to live in the past, but the Warriors had huge expectations to do something great again in 2023, perhaps even repeat as NBA champions. But then it hit me. And I think the Warriors slowly started realizing this towards the end of last season. You can't have it both ways in the NBA. Now, wait, you're probably asking yourselves what I mean by that. And well, it's really simple. The Warriors tried to play the short-term and long-term game before realizing that there are just too many contracts, egos, and roles to manage. In some ways, I even think the Warriors felt we messed up. They wanted to keep and extend Klay Thompson and Draymond Green to go along with Steph Curry and develop the young guys in Jordan Poole, James Wiseman, Kuminga, and all those young kids. But we've seen time and time in the NBA is that if you want to win games consistently at some point, you need to either feature young and upcoming players and let them develop in the spotlight, or you run your team through superstars. And so, what did the Warriors choose? They chose to win now, aka re-sign Draymond to keep him with Steph and Klay, and also by trading young assets like Poole and Wiseman for vets in CP3 and Gary Payton II. 33-year-old Draymond Green believed with all his heart and soul that he is worth $100 million, per his IG, where Draymond reposted a graphic of Stephen A. Smith's take saying that Draymond is easily worth the bag. Just before the 2023 season started, it seriously began looking like Draymond Green's days were close to over in Golden State after he punched Jordan Poole in practice. That was the time when Jordan Poole, believe it or not, was seen as the future and as the more valuable piece to Golden State at the time, as the Warriors signed Poole to a max contract extension last summer and not Draymond, despite him seeking one for quite some time, showing us that the Warriors were looking at Poole as the future of the franchise after the Steph Curry era. But how quickly the tables have turned with Jordan Poole quickly being traded just 1 year later and Draymond being the one big piece the Warriors are looking to see back on their team at the start of next season, despite how things started before the year with that incident. All things considered, it was actually Draymond Green that had the better season than Poole when this year was supposed to be the year the torch would begin to get passed. Draymond said publicly, "We're not playing right now because when you speak about the following, when you speak about all the slippage that we had as a team on the road, not being able to come together, none of those things happens if that punch before the season doesn't happen." And so clearly, the Warriors felt the same way because they went ahead and traded Poole to the Wizards to clean things up internally and to get up off that massive contract they paid him just a summer ago. But that's precisely the point I'm trying to get at here. The Warriors wanted to commit to their future by giving Poole a huge contract while they still had to work some things out with Draymond Green and the immediate direction of the franchise. Not only did that lead to a pretty confusing season altogether, it led to some internal bitterness between Poole and Draymond trying to prove to their organization who the more valuable player was. Which is funny I say that because the Warriors just traded for Chris Paul, who Draymond hasn't ever been a fan of. Going as far as, "we don't have a good relationship at all," really makes it feel like the Warriors didn't change much at all with trading Poole and adding CP3. But in fairness, these were Draymond's comments about CP3 a couple of years back, so things might be different now. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Draymond Green declined his player option worth nearly $28 million and was seeking that big paycheck after proving once again last season just how valuable he is to the Warriors. And according to sources in the know, Draymond was looking for a contract extension that matches the length of Steph Curry's contract, letting us know that Draymond is certainly interested in playing out the rest of his years in the NBA with Steph and Klay to see how successful this trio can be moving forward as they all get up there in age. There's no secret that the Warriors have been busy with changes, starting with their GM Bob Myers stepping down after 12 seasons and the Warriors bringing in Mike Dunleavy Jr. in his place. But that move didn't cause any disagreement regarding Draymond's future with the team. Even their new GM came out and said, "I will say it, I think Steve Kerr has said it, I'll reiterate, we really want Draymond back. What he means to this organization and this team in terms of trying to win at the highest level, we feel like we have to have him. So that's very important, telling us that perhaps Draymond and the Warriors were always destined to reach a new deal. Now that the Warriors are clearly choosing to go the route of maximizing Steph Curry's remaining prime years and sticking with the championship core of Steph, Klay, and Draymond, All the signs are pointing to the Warriors giving Draymond that max he's been waiting for a while now, especially with them firmly choosing Draymond over Poole. And again, now that they have this entire dilemma out of the way about building up the young guys versus continuing this dynasty, the Warriors can finally refocus and play a brand of basketball that has led them to 4 NBA championships in the last decade. Okay, I know some of you might be thinking, they won a championship with all those young guys on the roster, with Steph, Clay, and Draymond still playing the lead role. Why couldn't they do it again? See, here's the thing about that. Just look back at the 2022 postseason and tell me these numbers don't scream discrepancy. Outside of Jordan Poole, Kuminga, Wiseman, and Moody played a combined 243 minutes throughout the entire 2022 playoffs. They weren't even seeing the court. And yes, I know, Wiseman wasn't even there, so why am I counting him in that? Well, that's the point. He wasn't even there. All those young players would need extra minutes to shine and for the Warriors to see what they are capable of. A good part of the 2023 season was spent experimenting with these kids to see who the next big thing in line was. The issue is, it's hard doing all this while trying to maintain the overall winning identity of a team. There's a difference between experimenting with CP3 now on the team versus trying to get all those young players in the flow of things. CP3 is a superstar veteran who's been on a number of different teams. And I don't know about you, but wherever CP3 is gone, that team improved considerably, and there were never any chemistry issues anywhere Chris Paul is suited up. There isn't a speck of doubt in my mind that CP3 can take that bench unit and give the Warriors something they haven't had since their 73-win season from a personnel standpoint. This team is going to be serious from top to bottom. This brings us to the remaining time before the season starts. The Warriors have had a busy offseason, making quality moves here and there, while showing us with a passion how committed they are to continuing this dynasty. But are the moves finished for the Dubs this summer? Or are there more changes to come? Many Warriors fans are intrigued at the opportunity they have in-house with rising fan favorite Lester Quinones after he lit up the Summer League. Look, I've said it before and don't mind saying it again. If the Warriors wrapped up their offseason by bringing in Quinones on board for next season, that might be all they need to shore up that second unit just a bit more. And it'll give the team a clear picture of what to expect for next season. I mean, why consider making another big trade or signing when you perhaps already have the formula down pat for winning it all next year? But we know who this starts and ends with. Steph Curry, first and foremost, and Clay and Draymond. It's that connection Draymond has had with the greatest shooters in tandem we've ever seen in Steph and Clay. It isn't just the fact that these three have formed one of the winningest big threes in NBA history. And it isn't just the fact that these three have developed one of the greatest brotherhoods in all of sports. It's the fact that these three have as good of chemistry as any trio of teammates in the entire world of sports. It's Draymond's feel for where exactly Steph and Clay want the ball for a wide open shot. It's Steph's knowing where Clay is on a fast break, how each guy likes to run the pick and roll, and how Draymond likes to set those screens for Clay and Steph. This is precisely why this core is one of the prime examples of right place, right time. And well, just a trio match made in basketball heaven. The Splash Bros are the engine of this team. These guys are 435 and 162 all time when on the court together. Come on, who's stopping these guys?